Hello everyone. Welcome to Soul Trio. Kate and I are here.
Yes. Hello, Krystle.
Yes, hello again. As we speak about the duality of ego versus spirit, I'm so what's the word? I'm so excited to speak about this because just the other week we were just talking about spiritual pride and what it is exactly, and I'm sure many will be asking what exactly is spiritual pride, what is the duality of ego versus spirit. So I would like you to answer that, Kate.
Well, I'll give you my interpretation of it. My interpretation is that we are all spirit. We all have an energy or spirit within us, within this human body. And in the human body, we also have an ego. And they are the opposite of each other, that the ego cannot override the spirit. And so I think a lot of what people struggle with day in and day out is, are they listening to their ego or are they listening to their spirit? And we have to find a balance because we are spirit inside a human body. So for me, it is the duality is trying to find that balance where you are still acting and experience through your human body, but you are also listening to your spirit and letting that guide you in how you are expressing in the world.
Oh, I love that. I just want to ask for you what spirit exactly is again. You mentioned that earlier that we are all spirits, but many people will say, well, spirit is like the saints, the God the Father in heaven, but actually it's also us. We are also spirits, aren't we? How would you expand that?
Well, from my personal understanding of it, now this may be different for everybody, but to me, the spirit that we have within us, what I call a soul, is energy that is an extension of God. So I believe that we are a piece of God. We are created in His image, and we actually have His energy, which is my soul within me. That's how I define it. That's what I believe in. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Well, actually, it's also the same for me. Most of the time, we think as a spirit as only God or all the saints. But since we are all created in God's image and likeness, we are all spirits. Our soul is actually our mind, isn't it? It's not something else or not a blurb or I don't know. I usually think of spirit as ghost because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Well, there's bad spirit or good spirit or things like that because Filipinos have many um, of this cultural beliefs. But now that I understand more, it's actually our mind that is our spirit, right? So when we think or when we feel, but mostly when we have an intuition what to do or how to do it, it's like God speaking to us, isn't it? Do you agree
Yes.
about?
Yep. And I would just like to add in there, because sometimes this is such a hard concept to wrap your mind around, that the easy visualization for me is to think that God is everything. Everything that we perceive came from Him. And so all I think of is God as I can picture Him in a human form, and I feel like He's made up of billions of little bits, like a picture, a pixel. And
Yeah.
I am one of His pixels that is down here on earth right now. And when this body, this container dissolves, dies, that pixel goes back into Him. And sometimes I think if you have a visual of that, it's a little bit easier to grasp the concept of what your soul is, your spirit is. It never dies. It's given from Him in this human vessel, and then when we die, it goes back to him for whatever other purpose.
I love that. I love that. And last week we talked about spiritual pride in our community, and I think it fits right with this ego versus spirit, because I learned that spiritual pride is actually not good, because it's like God speaking to you.
Mhm.
We are all created for a purpose. Now I have really understood that. I am doing something that someone else cannot do. I can touch other people that some others cannot touch, and you can touch other people that I cannot influence. So we are all here to lead others, to influence others, and that's what our purpose here on earth. I was talking with my children the other day, and I said, well, we need to do something good here on earth because we all have purpose. And they're 12 and 10 and 8, and they say, what is our purpose actually? It's actually to give value to others, because everybody's watching us. How we talk, how we act, the way we look at others. I can see that because my children is watching me, and I can see some of my tics, my quirks,
Yep.
my, that are transferred to them. Even though I know sometimes they're not good, and those quirks sometimes I don't do on purpose, but we are here to influence other people around us, whether we like it or not. So when we feel that God is speaking to us, that we need to do to be part of something bigger, we say, oh, it's not me. I'm just this humble servant. I'm really not a speaker, or I don't want this because I'm not good enough. Most of the time is we feel that we're not good enough. But actually, we are all created in God's image and likeness, like we said earlier. So we are all good enough
Yes.
to step forward. It's actually stepping out of our comfort zone, which is more difficult. And when we step out of our comfort zone, that's where we grow.
Yes.
Because every day we need to grow, or else we all die. And it's funny because for 2 weeks we didn't go out because my family has been in quarantine, and you have been too, right, Kate? And it's I love spending every minute with my children, but there's a but. There's a but, because I felt guilty because I have just been watching movies with them, watching episodes
Yeah.
after episode of season after season of something in Netflix or something in Disney.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am also influencing them for their future, for their children. When their children are sick, when they're big enough, when they're parents, then they will remember, oh, my mom was there with me.
Yeah.
When I was sick, I'm spending time with my children as well. And I really did that on purpose, because when I was at their age, my mother wasn't there when I was sick. And I was always looking forward, hoping that one day I will be able to give this opportunity to my children. And I have, and I am so blessed because I I can take care of them. I am with them whenever they want me to be with them. So spiritual pride, ego, I think it's more of a fear also. Could you say that, Kate? It's a fear that we have that we are not enough. So that's why we don't move forward.
Oh yeah, fear holds you back. And I just wanted to add one other comment to what you said, because I think it's important that not everybody's in the same situation. Like you earlier, you didn't have your mother there when you were sick. There's a lot of people that don't even have parents. So I think it's important to point out, from my perspective, that We, in your spirit, you need to understand that you are already whole. You have everything that you need in life by yourself. We are whole. We are made in God's image. And so when you don't have the support system around to help you through something, we are designed to be able to rely on God, rely on our spirit for that comfort, because we are whole. So we only need to look inside ourselves for the support that we might need at any given time. And I think that's important to point out. It's great to have, like you, Krystle, sometimes when I'm stuck in something and need help, I can bounce ideas off you. But I need to remember also that I need to check in with myself, with my spirit, and listen for the guidance, what he is saying in taking that next step. Yeah. So everybody's got that in them. We are whole. We are perfect. We are worthy. We are good enough. You just got to turn inwards to find that comfort sometimes.
Yes, and also it's important to have the people with the like-minded people that surrounds you, because if you have the wrong people around you and you want to be better, you want to better yourself, they tend to pull you down, even if you have good intentions, or even if they have good intentions, but
right.
They're just not the right people for you. Find the right people around you. And if you have won, you already won. So it's really very important to have at least one person to push you forward and step out of that comfort zone and be the best version of that you can be.
And I'll ask you a really important question here. How do you know when you've found the right person?
Wow, that's a big question. I think it's because I pray for people. I pray to God to send me the right people. I ask Him just that, send me the right people at the right time. And when that time happens, when I feel low and I hear them say the right things, I know it's the right person, because God will never send you someone who's not good enough.
And that's it exactly. I'm going to underline that it's that feeling, yes. Right? We all talk about people's energy and resonating with people. Mm-hmm. It all comes back to that inner feeling.
Yes.
That is that's your there's the person that I need, because they make me feel centered and whole and feel good. And you said I know. That knowing is the truth of God. So when you say, well, how did you know that this person or that situation was right? And your response is, I just knew. Mm-hmm. Because God is speaking to you.
Yes, it's the intuition that you have. It's like God speaking to you. And it's important that you listen to that inner voice, because we are whole. Like you said, we are created. God created us perfectly. But the things around us make us, how do you say, make us feel incomplete, incompetent.
Yep.
Because of the things that, the paradigms, the culture, the habits that we inherit. So let's break those and be the best version that we can be.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I'll just add in here that growing up, I knew, like I kind of innately knew that we had a guidance system, that our spirit was supposed to lead us. And then I got caught up in life and started letting the ego determine, what I should be doing, shouldn't be doing in life. Until recently, I had a good spiritual awakening. And that led me to, if you don't mind, this, let me see if I can center this correctly.
Yes.
Life's purpose. And it was I believe God speaking to me to let other people know that there is a specific design that we are supposed to be following in this body, and that we all have purpose. And I was called to write that book so that other people could see or remember, because once this happened to me, it was like an awakening. I started remembering, wow, yeah, when things went well, I was listening to that intuition. So that's a lot of people, like I did for many, many, many years, get stuck in the ego human reality of what's going on, and we forget to stop and listen to our intuition. And so that was the big call I had to write that book, to let people know that life is supposed to be joyful. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to follow your intuition. It will never guide you in the wrong direction. And so I just wanted to share that.
I love it. You're supposed to enjoy life. Well,
Yes.
we only live once. Well, we live every day and we die once. So we need to savor every moment that we have with our children, with our parents, with our family members, and learn from the failures as well, because failures teaches us so much and moves us forward. Because when you fail and stop, that's the real failure.
Exactly.
When you fail and move forward, that's not a failure. It's just a bump in the road. Go forward, because life is full of failures, full of trials, full of tests. But when you move forward, wow, life is beautiful. I have been stuck for so long for jealousy, insecurities, stuff like that. But now I see life differently. And when you have these negative feelings, negative emotions, negative thoughts, you just shake it and change those negativities with something positive. Be grateful. And being grateful doesn't just mean that you say thank you. Being grateful means that you enjoy life, you love the people around you. And when there are people who hurt you, you just say thank you and goodbye.
Yes.
Because they teach you so many things as well. They taught you how to love and how to forgive. And I mean, honestly, I cannot believe myself talking like this, but it's it's how I see life now.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I see those same challenging situations where people are critical or mean to you as no longer an attack on me. My thought is, wow, they have a whole world that they're not even seeing. I almost feel sorry for them in a way. And I try to remember that I need to be the example for them, that if I can stay strong in my spirit, that maybe their spirit will recognize something and give them the spark that they need. So
I
that's
love
awesome.
that.
Love it.
It's awesome. Well, Kate, thank you very much for your time. Thank you everyone for watching us. And don't forget to buy Kate's book. We will send the link below, and so you can order it from Amazon. It's in Amazon France as well, here for Europe, Amazon Holland as well. So you can buy it everywhere in the world.
Great. Thank you. That's very generous of you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Kate. Goodbye.
Bye.